So finally, we might actually get an answer as to what is on Hunter Biden's laptop that these motherfuckers keep talking about.
Last night, in case you were wondering where I was at a fundraiser where Rudy Giuliani revealed the horrors that he saw on Hunter Biden's laptop and so much more. Before I get to that, if you're new here, hit the red button down below to subscribe.
Do not subscribe to Gary Franchici.
Report. Rudy Giuliani gave a great speech
Gary Franchi.
Fundraiser for a Republican candidate, and boy, did he really let it rip. Wait till you see what he said and revealed about the Bidens. NextNewsNetwork.com reports that during a fundraiser for Scott Casper, a candidate for Illinois' 6th Congressional District, former Trump attorney and New York Mayor Rudy Giuliani got up and spoke.
A complete fucking idiot.
Hunter Biden and the Democrats during his 30 minutes.
Who, by the way, involving minors, you want to talk about Giuliani and minors? Remember when Borat fucking tricked him into almost whipping out his penis in front of a woman that he thought was 15?
Speech. It's one particular part of the speech where he goes into detail about what he saw on Hunter's laptop and the illicit activities that he would carry out around minors.
This cousin fucker?
In the video. And it is shocking. Watch.
March 12th, 2018, Hunter Biden walked into a gun store in Delaware and he bought a .38 revolver. He filled out the piece of paper we all have to fill out, which the Democrats, now say we have to have new gun laws because the Democrats don't follow the...
Oh, wait a minute. He's there campaigning for a congressional race. And he talks about Hunter Biden. Ah.
Do you think we're stupid? You think we're fools?
Yes, every one of you is a complete fucking moron.
Present gun laws, by the way. They don't do it in my state. We just had a big shooting in Buffalo. The kid who did it should have been on the list. They don't bother. And then they don't prosecute people who fail to put their names down, so nobody put their names down. So Hunter signs a piece of paper and has a little thing there. It says, have you ever been addicted to a controlled substance? He's been addicted to a controlled substance for 40 years. He's been more addicted than he has been not addicted. 100, 200, 300 pictures of him, 1,000 pictures of him in closets with crack smoke around, walking around with no clothes on, smoking his crack pipe. There were minor children in this home, by the way. Walking around with no clothes on, talking to prostitutes, very explicitly, with the minor children around, him smoking the crack pipe. The closet ones are amazing. He puts himself in a closet so he can get the maximum amount of, and he couldn't stay clean for even...
Wait, he was hotboxing in a closet?
So can you imagine how degenerate a drug addict he is? His father pulls strings.
Frank Gallagher.
To get him into the military because he's too old. And within 2 months, he fails out for cocaine.
You know what? If they ever do like a prequel to Shameless, that's my pick. Hunter Biden can play a young Frank Gallagher. Good idea.
And they stopped him from going to Ukraine. Just gave him the money because every time he went to Ukraine, all he was doing was getting dope, and the rest you can figure out. Now, why did I mention that to you?
I would assume dope is better in the U.S. than Ukraine, but I don't know.
Violates 2 laws. 18 United States Code, Section 922A6, which makes it a crime to make a false statement on an application for a gun. That's a 2-year federal felony. Often, if that's the only thing, and the person, let's say, was a marijuana user or whatever, they might not prosecute it, or they give you a suspended sentence. But we ain't talking about a marijuana user here, baby. We're talking about a complete degenerate drug addict who possibly spends more of his waking hours influenced by drugs than not. We're talking about a guy who I have pictures of smoking crack, driving an automobile.
Touche, Merkin, touche.
This is exactly who the law is meant for. A drug addict who's not in control of anything, that he shouldn't have a gun. I mean, this is what liberals want, right? People who are mentally ill, people who are drug addicts, people who are criminals shouldn't have guns. Well, there's one real big one sitting right next to the president.
He's not sitting right next to the president.
Here's the application.
Hunter Biden is not in our government.
Pictures. All within 4 or 5 days of the application of him using dope. I'll show you his book that admits that he was using dope during that period of time. I'll give you his text messages to his dealer at about the time that he signed that. But then it violates a second statute, Section 922 G6.
What was the name of the lady that hosted SNL this past week? Can she be Frank's wife? I forget what her name is. It's been a while since I watched Shameless. Melody. I forget what her name was. She would be good to play young Frank's wife. Natasha Lyonne, who I'd never heard of, but apparently has been like around since Pee-wee. Did a good job hosting SNL. I thought it was pretty funny.
That makes it a 10-year felony for a person.
Young Monica. I knew it was an M name.
To carry a firearm. Well, he deserves to be prosecuted for that. If I'm going to tell the American people, like the phony did last night, that we should have more gun control laws, I really believe that you believe in the gun control laws when you got this guy sitting next to you, who you can make an example of and deter other people from violating gun control laws.
What?
And you got a whole administration that's covering them up. You go get my podcast. You can see every single piece of paper I told you.
Go subscribe to Rudy Giuliani's podcast. I didn't even know you had one. I'm sure it's hilarious.
A half-wit prosecutor could win this case. All you need is the signature, the many pictures of him being a drug addict, his own admission of being a drug addict, and then you could call some of the dealers who'd love to rat him out.
I don't care. I really don't like.
Protected. Now, how does that?
This is a disservice to the people of Illinois.
To be a moral leader of the United States, and that's what we're missing in the United States. But people aren't getting killed as much as they are because of guns. They're getting killed because we've become more and more immoral.
Honey, guns are now the leading cause of death among children. Guns are the leading cause of death among children in this country.
That's why they're getting killed.
He's not a person, he's a goblin. Not the Green Goblin either.
And they're doing it to us. We've never had a president that was as crooked as this, ever. We've never had a president that spent a...
Yeah, we have. First of all, we've had multiple incredibly crooked presidents, if you know history. Want to go back and talk about, like, fucking Teapot Dome and shit, motherfucker? But second of all, you worked for one! His name was Donald Trump! Jesus! Let's talk about his fucking criminal kids, shall we?
His whole life taking bribes. 30 million from our biggest enemy, China. I mean, this is disgraceful.
I still don't know what he's talking about.
200, 300, 1,000 pictures of him. I have pictures of him in closets with crack smoke around, walking around with no clothes, smoking his crack pipe. He said there are minor children in his home, by the way, walking around with no clothes on.
I doubt it.
Talking to prostitutes
I don't believe it.
Minor children around and him smoking.
It sounds like something Rudy Giuliani did. Nobody's paying Rudy to do it. He's out here trying to make as much money as he can because his legal troubles keep mounting. And he needs to feed as much bullshit as he can to the gullible assholes that believe this nonsense.
Crack. He continued to tell about Hunter's sordid past and said that it's insane that Democrats want to say that they can determine what the gun laws are when they let Hunter Biden break the laws as a drug addict. He said the closet ones are amazing. He locked himself in a closet so he can get the...
Prosecute Hunter Biden. I don't give a shit.
I guess. Drugs. He couldn't even stay...
Also, I don't know that this picture isn't photoshopped. I don't know that this picture isn't photoshopped. Look at the angle that fucking that's a meth pipe, by the way. That's not a crack pipe. That should be the first. That should be the first indication. They apparently say that he was smoking crack. That is a meth pipe, not a crack pipe. Look at the angle that the pillow is. Like, it would fall. It would fall right out of his mouth. I don't know that this picture is authentic.
Clean for 2 months to even pass a test in the Army. His father pulled strings, breaks the law to get him into the military because he's too old.
You want to talk about corrupt? You want to talk about fucking corrupt children? Let's talk about the $2 billion Jared Kushner got from the Saudis. Let's talk about the money that Trump was making off of housing Secret Service agents. I mean, there's so many things that were corrupt that Trump was doing. These motherfuckers don't give a shit about. Hey, if Hunter Biden misrepresented himself on a form applying for a gun, sure, prosecute him. I don't care. I don't give a shit. But there are much more pressing issues in this world.
Out for cocaine, and of course he brought up Ukraine. He said,
Also, that's not a fucking crack pipe.
And the rest you can figure out. The former Trump attorney pulled out a piece of paper, told the audience that it was from a form that was filled out when you buy a gun. It said Hunter filled out a similar form when he bought it. He then mentioned that Hunter broke several laws when he signed that form.
Oh, so that wasn't even the form that Hunter... I thought he had like a copy of the form.
Take it up. And he mentioned it was United States Code Section 922.8.6, which makes it a crime to make a false statement on an application for a gun, a 2-year sentence. And then, of course, he brought up his text messages to his drug dealer.
I'm all about hotboxing.
Violating the second statute, 922.v.6, that makes it a 10-year felony for any...
Sparkles, tomorrow night when we smoke, we should go into the closet. Boom. Keep it in the closet. I'm sorry, I got a little Michael Jackson. I told her we're just gonna listen to nothing but Nelly Furtado tomorrow. This is my birthday. Nelly fucking Furtado. Chrysanthemum! Geared 69 bits. Ah! You were awesome, 69 bits.
You live in sexual anarchy?
No. No to the Nelly Furtado. I don't know what you got against Nelly Furtado. She's like a bird. Always flies away. I honestly don't know if I really like her or if I've just taken a joke way too far. I don't know. I don't know.